So on today's video I wanted to talk about a short-lived band from Norwich who were probably feeling their way a bit at the same time that I was feeling my way a bit when I'd restarted the label, and that band is Jelly Gun Jack. So I think towards the end of 1999, I think Jelly Gun Jack sent me a demo CDR through, which was actually the Zarse album, 10-track album. And I seem to remember, I think they'd seen, like, obviously that I'd been doing Annalise and The Unknown in Fracture or something like that, and they sort of sent it out to the PO box. And there were definitely like 2 or 3 songs on this CD that really stood out for me. And I think I approached them to, I was looking for the 4th one-sided 7-inch single to do at that time, and I sort of put forward the idea of doing Goomba and Fingers Like Bananas as our 4th one-sided 7-inch. And I believe that came out in sort of like April 2000.
Here come the sickly summer days of sun. Time to kick back and have a little fun. But as my thoughts are free, I feel that something's not complete. Lying down amongst the plates of glass, I'm looking deep into an azure sky. All my friends are here, I start to feel that I'm alone. And once again, these midget months try to tell of a young girl and boy, and happiness now lost, but that's alright. I'm doing fine. The tale's just a chapter and the story's just begun. Things can be hard at times when you focus on what you're missing on. Emotional evaluation operation.
I think quite an interesting thing with that 7-inch is that it did pretty well, and I don't remember them being around for that long. The band were based in Norwich at that point, but I think they were soon moving to Leeds because they were sort of going to start university, and I think the whole band was moving to Leeds at that point. And I think we just came to the idea of perhaps doing Zarse. I think I probably asked them for some extra copies because I thought on the back of the 7-inch, you know, we might sell a few of the album. Now the album was a bit of a different beast to the 7-inch because there were a lot of sort of ska punk songs on there and sort of reggae and bits and pieces that weren't kind of really, you know, what I liked, but you know, the pop punk kind of songs that were on there were really strong, I thought. So I think they were kind of finding their way about what their sound was. And in hindsight, probably releasing the demo as a CD, as like an official CD, we should have probably done like 500 of it, but I think at that point it cost very little between doing 500 and 1,000 because of glass mastering costs. So I think we pressed 1,000 of them, and I seem to remember that the band had sort of done the demo on this really nice sort of reverse manila board card. And I think we put together the idea that they would print like the booklets and inlays, and I would get the CDs pressed, and then we'd swap copies. Now I can't remember exactly how many we swapped between us, but I think that they obviously, I think they had the lion's share. They definitely had more than half of the CDs. Yeah, we sold, you know, it sold a few hundred, but it wasn't going to ever set the world on fire really, and it stands out a bit because, you know, ska punk really wasn't my thing, so I think I was just trying to feel my way as to where everything was at. But of course, being based in Norwich, you know, obviously Boss Tuneage had quite a heritage working with Norwich bands after Goober Patrol, so I think I was really keen to sort of like, you know, be involved and see what's what, and get the idea. And I think that, you know, the majority of our sales did go over to Japan. I think it didn't do too badly in Japan. And then I believe the band decided that, because the 7-inch was coming out, that they would actually put together a video for Goomba. And lo and behold, I've managed to find it. So here it is.
Everybody has an agenda, all right? Everyone. Yourself? My agenda is to watch your back.
I saw you fall, I saw you give up then to die. The pressure was too much in the end. I heard you call, 2 seconds more and you'd be gone. I'd always be here now for you to hold on to. I know it's not my problem, but I'll fight by your side. Come on, my friend, let's stay until the end. I know it's not my problem, but I'll fight by your side. Come on, my friend, let's stay until the end. Forget them all, they knock you down, they cut you up. You don't need friends who won't help you. I understand, we all want to be seen as cool. Just be yourself and we will make it through. I know it's not my problem, but I'll fight by your side. Come on, my friend, let's stay until the end. I know it's not my problem, but I'll fight by your side. Come on, my friend, let's stay until the end.
Okay, boys, let's go.
It's not my problem, but I'll fight by your side. Come on, my friend, let's stay until the end. I know it's not my problem, but I'll fight by your side. Come on, my friend, let's stay until the end.
So I think the band, when they moved to Leeds, did do a few shows, but they were kind of short-lived. I think it all kind of fizzled out soon after that, and they would go on to bigger and better things, because members of Jelly Gun Jack would, a couple of years later, appear in that cracking band, and none of them knew they were robots, and also send more paramedics, who got a fair bit of press, who obviously released stuff on In at the Deep End. And of course, In at the Deep End Records was run by a guy called Mark Swinney, who'd been the singer in the first band I'd been in, called Sick Bus. And Mark actually used to manage and do the Boss Tuneage website for me from about 2000 onwards. So he used to, I'd send him all the bits and he would do the website for me. So yeah, I do remember it was, I do believe they had a fair few hundred of this CD, and I did sort of speak to them once a bit later, and someone did say that there was this sort of like student house in Leeds where the entire bathroom was decorated in Jelly Gun Jack CDs, I think, because they did hang around for quite a while. So I guess if I had my time again with Jelly Gun Jack, I think we would have definitely done the 7-inch, but maybe not Zarse. Just waited for a bit, see how the band evolved and developed, and then perhaps looked at doing a CD later on. That's it for this time. See you on the next one.
That's not last, but that's alright. I'm doing fine. Tale's just a chapter and the story's just begun. Things can be hard at times when you focus on what you're missing on. Months to the tale of a young girl and boy, and happiness now lasts, but that's alright. I'm doing fine. The tale's just a chapter and the story's just begun. I'm doing fine.